We're we're a few minutes after 1 o'clock, so I think we'll go ahead and get started. And I just want to welcome you to Friday Fam with Sandy Haynes, Group Tour Sales Manager, and Lisa Segudo, Assistant Sales Manager at Visit Myrtle Beach. I'm Dave Bodel. Today begins with an interview session between Sandy and Jeff Gaduck, Premier Travel Media's publisher. They'll introduce 7 reasons to visit Myrtle Beach in 2021. At the conclusion of the session, we'll go do a Q&A with Lisa. You can enter your questions in the chat room. Now, please make sure that you're muted. And with that, Jeff, let's get started.
Hi, everybody. Jeff Gaduck here from Leisure Group Travel, and I'm happy to be with Sandy Haynes from Visit Myrtle Beach at our first virtual site inspection of 2021. Sandy, how you doing today?
I am fabulous. The weather could not be more beautiful here in Myrtle Beach.
Awesome. Well, you and I could not agree on a location. You can see I'm at the golf course, which is one of my favorite things to do, especially in this socially distanced world. And where are you calling from today?
I am from the Holiday Inn, Surfside Beach. We are sitting poolfront and also beachfront.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, beautiful day today. Looks like a nice day to enjoy the pool once you're done with the session that we have today. So, in the absence of the trade show circuit, which has not been going on, in-person FAMs, we wanted to take this opportunity to try to reconnect you guys with group travel planners, talk about what's going on in Myrtle Beach, some of the reasons why groups need to come back to Myrtle Beach if they've not been there before, as well as if it's not been on your radar screen. A lot of people are looking at different pivots and different destinations to really look at Myrtle Beach from the first time. So wanted to go with you today through a presentation, walk through some of the highlights of the destination. Obviously, nobody knows more about Myrtle Beach than you do from a visitor standpoint in dealing with groups. So if you're okay, let's go ahead and kick things off over here. So the first thing I'd like to talk about is, obviously the main draw for Myrtle Beach, people coming in there, oceans, beaches, and boardwalks. What's going on there?
Actually, our boardwalk was built about 6 years ago. It's about 1.5 miles long, and they do keep expanding the boardwalk yearly. Beaches, of course, we do cover a 60-mile stretch of wide sandy beaches. We have all kinds of outdoor activities with boating, deep sea fishing, including sunset cruises, casino boats. So we can do just about anything here you want to do on the water or just right off the water. The boardwalk is fabulous. And I believe you can see a really great shot of the boardwalk in this slide presentation.
Yeah, right front and center there. So the Skywheel, was that built when the boardwalk was redone, or did that come before or after?
This is actually a new boardwalk. We did not really have a true boardwalk before. So it really came in about the same time. Jeff.
Good to hear about the boardwalk. I've not seen that before. My last trip to Myrtle Beach, I didn't have a chance to do that. So certainly looking forward to getting back to that. The casino ship, where does that leave from?
That leaves out of Little River, South Carolina.
Okay.
So from about mid Myrtle Beach, it would take about 30 to 45 minutes to get there, depending on traffic.
Okay.
There are two boats down there. They are both called the Big M Casino boats. They are the only casinos in South Carolina.
Okay.
So if you want to come to South Carolina to gamble, that's where you would have to go.
Well, that must be popular, I would imagine, even through this. So, Sandy, obviously the beach and the boardwalk is a huge attraction and reason to come to Myrtle Beach, but obviously there's a lot of other things to do there. Can you talk a bit about some of the inland attractions?
Sure. Inland, we have Broadway at the beach, which is on about 500 acres of all outdoor shopping and dining. Over 20 restaurants, multiple attractions are out there. Ripley's Aquarium is located at Broadway at the beach. They have just added a new exhibit and they now have penguins at the Myrtle Beach Ripley's Aquarium.
Nice.
Yeah, Broadway also has Wonderworks, which is upside down. Professor's Workshop, that's a lot of fun. If you have student groups, they have a lot of items that they have there with the STEM items that they can do with their student groups.
So, Sandy, I understand they also have a zip line over at Broadway at the beach?
Yeah, so that is also part of Wonderworks exhibit. There is also a zip line that is located on the southern end of Myrtle Beach, as well as a ropes course. In the heart of Myrtle Beach is a ropes course and a zip line as well. So there's all sorts of outdoor activities that you can do.
Awesome. So I know a lot of people are missing baseball live this year, and you guys have a minor league affiliate team there. We're keeping our fingers crossed that 2021 is going to be a great season. So where do they play, and what's the affiliation?
Sure, they play at the Pelican Stadium, which is in the heart of Myrtle Beach. They are a Cubs organization. They're a single A baseball team for the Cubs.
Okay, cool. Any other attractions that are notable for groups to be looking at when they're rebooking?
Oh, absolutely. We have a brand new riverboat. It's called the Barefoot Queen. It is located at Barefoot Landing. Your groups can do a sightseeing tour. They can also do a dinner tour. If they wanted to book the whole boat itself, they could certainly do that. But that's brand new to the area, and you should start seeing available dates and times probably the end of January.
Awesome.
A lot of things around Broadway at the beach. We do have, of course, Hollywood Wax Museum. We have Broadway Track for those who want to be adventurous and ride some bumper cars and some little speed racing cars. It's a lot of fun. Believe it or not, even for the senior adults group, if they can get in and out of it, they do really enjoy it. We do have Hopsawee Plantation that is also about an hour south of Myrtle Beach. It is an old rice plantation. It is where the Declaration of Independence was signed by Lynch Jr. Oh God, his name is eluding me. I should know that.
That's all right. What about Barefoot Landing?
Yes, Barefoot Landing is also a nice outdoor shopping facility that actually houses Alabama Theater, as well as House of Blues, Alligator Adventure. Again, that is also where the Barefoot Princess is located. They are refurbishing that whole area to make it very eco-friendly. Lulu's is a newer restaurant out there. It's been open now about 2 or 3 years. That is actually Jimmy Buffett's sister's restaurant, and that is located right on the Intercoastal Waterway. So the views are amazing. Again, there are a lot of outdoor restaurants as well as attractions located at Barefoot Landing.
Good. Is that Duplin? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that the right way. The winery, is that located at Barefoot or is that near it?
Yes, it is actually located at Barefoot Landing. They do a fabulous job with groups. They make homemade crackers on site as well as a homemade dip. Each group, when they come in, when they do their wine tasting, they will get to keep their glass, which is has Duplин's logo on it. So it makes it a really nice keepsake, and the gift shop is simply amazing.
Awesome, awesome. So you brought up the shopping over at Barefoot Landing. I'm curious, what other types of shopping activities do you guys have in the area?
Sure, we have two Tanger factory outlet shops. One is located on Highway 501. One is located north on 17. We do have a couple malls in the area. We have Coastal Grand Mall. We have the Myrtle Beach Mall. We have a lot of novelty shops. I love the Gay Dolphin, which is the largest gift shop in Myrtle Beach and the oldest. It's 3 stories high. And, if your groups want to take home souvenirs for their families or for themselves, that is really the best place to go. You're going to find some really cool stuff in there that are unique to the area.
Geez, 3 levels.
Yeah.
Now, what about this Market Commons area? I've gone through there before. I thought it was a pretty eclectic mixture, really, nice setting and such. That's still thriving during this?
It is. In fact, it's kind of like an urban village. It's a very neat, upscale, very clean. They do have restaurants, a movie theater. If you wanted to go out, they have a very big park and track. So if groups wanted to get out and just see some beautiful greenery, that's a great place for them to go out, and you can drop them off and let them do some exercise and do some dining on their own.
Okay, good. We'll definitely have to put that on the itinerary.
And that is actually the location of the old Myrtle Beach Air Force Base. And we do have a gentleman that will do a tour of the old Air Force Base, better known as Market Common now, and just kind of give you some general ideas of what was happening here in Myrtle Beach when we had our Air Force Base.
Okay, I like that. So, moving out, a bit here, if you had $1 for every time you sat down an appointment and someone said, "What's new in Myrtle Beach?" You'd probably be retired by now.
That's right.
So, talk about some of the things that maybe have come online, or, I always like to say, if you haven't been here before, you haven't done it, it's new to you and it's new to your group. So, talk a little bit about what's going on new there.
Well, not even just new, but our theaters are one of the biggest reasons our groups come to Myrtle Beach. They are not new, but for sure one of the biggest reasons that the groups come to the area. Newest, again, like I mentioned, was Barefoot Landing, doing all their renovations and bringing in some new products. So Black history is not new to the area. South Carolina was the largest rice producing area in the world until slavery was abolished. And then, of course, we tried to use oxen and machinery and things like that. They were just too heavy. So here currently, we are trying to work on a good bit of very eclectic Black history tours, along with Gullah and Geechee tours. In Myrtle Beach, we call it Gullah. You go a little further south to Charleston, South Carolina, they call it Geechee. And basically where the terminology comes from is where the slave owners brought the slaves to their farms. The slaves were the ones who actually knew how to grow this rice. So they had to come up with their own language because they were all brought from different areas. So they didn't have a language they understood as a group of people. So they did come up with their own language, and a lot of that was so that the farmer could not understand what they were saying. They're very spiritual people. They have a lot of beliefs in, like if you paint your house like in a really vibrant blue, it's going to ward the spirits off. They have their own style of cooking, which we would probably refer to now as more soul cooking.
Okay.
They do have their own language, which is a very cool language. We do have someone at Brook Green Gardens who will actually come out and do a Gullah presentation by either singing, reading from a book. We can actually have someone come in and prepare some dishes. And the groups really tend to like all these more experiential attractions that we have to offer.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Good. Well, I think that's a fascinating look back into history and the culture, and the fact that you can bring in somebody who can kind of relay that versus just seeing to experience it makes a lot of sense. So, obviously everybody these days is looking to spend more time outdoors. You guys have a plethora of that out there now more than ever. We're seeing, different options that are available. Can you talk a little bit maybe about some of the state parks and activities that you guys have in the area?
Sure. We do have two state parks, Myrtle Beach State Park and Huntington Beach State Park. Both of those do have programs that you can come out and they'll give you some exploratory cruises as far as what time of the year it is, whether there's alligators out or if they're hibernating and different kinds of birds and fish and that sort of thing. We do have 5 piers in the area. Those piers you can go and fish from if you decide to fish. There is some shore fishing you can also do. Of course, there's deep sea fishing. And then we do have a cruise that is an exploratory cruise. It goes out of Murrells Inlet. So you hop on the boat, they'll bring up some traps with some live animals that they can show you and tell you about them and explain to you exactly what they are. You can actually even touch them. They do let you fish as well. Of course, we're going to throw back our fish, but you do get to see if you can catch a fish. There is some shelling. So we do have several tours that you can do actual beach shelling on.
Nice. Okay. And you missed my favorite though, golfing. You guys have a couple courses through Myrtle Beach, right? For those groups that want to do a little golfing.
Yeah, I think we're still up to about 100.
Okay.
I will say most of our golfers do not travel in what we would consider a group per se. We're trying really hard to get the motor coach golfers in, but we can't seem to get those darn golfers on a motor coach. Yes, we do have a lot of golf courses. A lot of our hotel properties will actually package your golf for you and make it really easy for you to set up those tee times and get special deals.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've done actually 2 different golf trips to Myrtle Beach with a group. We did not do a motor coach, but really lifelong memories. So fantastic time. And you're right, the hotels, it's a total turnkey operation. So you guys have got that sort of group golf thing down to a T, no pun intended, down there. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're doing this around lunchtime, and apologies to people who've not had lunch yet, but certainly delicacies, whether it be seafood or traditional cuisine, is in no short supply down there. Walk through some of the options that you guys have.
Sure. Well, we have over 1,800 restaurants. Of those 1,800 restaurants, we have there's a good bit of them that will work with groups. Your best idea is to call me and let's make sure you're getting a group-friendly restaurant that knows how to handle the groups. But as far as our restaurants go, oh my goodness, a couple of the buffets have over 170 items. As you all can see in the picture, the fabulous crab legs, which I am really a pro at cracking. So maybe one day we'll do a crab cracking Zoom meeting. So when you guys come, we could definitely teach you how to crack some crabs. We have a style of cooking here called calabash. And basically what that means it is fried and breaded. And most things, in the South, we do tend to like to fry and bread or add butter to it. All of those 3 combinations are always good. We have a lot of really upscale restaurants, mid-scale restaurants. The restaurants are really eager to work with the groups. They will give you, if you even just give them a price point, they can come up with a menu based on your price point.
Nice.
Or if you say, the sky's the limit, obviously they can come up with that as well. Some of the restaurants will even do some cooking lessons. We actually went to one of our restaurants here the other day, Hook and Barrel, and they did some specialty drinks for the group that was in. There are just so many restaurants. Hook and Barrel, again, the owner actually wrote a book called Bonjour Y'all. So it has a lot of great Southern recipes in it. So restaurant-wise, we have more than enough to please everyone.
Awesome. Awesome. So can you tell me a little about this International Culinary Institute? Is that something where they do either cooking classes, or can you dine at that facility?
Yes. So it is a cooking or culinary college, basically. And they do teach cooking there. So they do have a cooking school and cooking classroom. You would have to definitely set up pretty far in advance if you wanted to come and dine with them. They do have a small dining facility. And sometimes it can be a little hard to get in. But what you could also do there is you could set up a cooking class with the group where you actually have an instructor instruct them on how to make or bake something.
Awesome. Would they teach me how to crack the crab legs, or that's your job specifically?
Well, it's probably my job.
Okay. I don't want to steal your job from you.
That's right. Don't steal my thunder.
Awesome. Well, good. A lot of variety there. Obviously, the fresh seafood is going to be awesome as well. So good, good insight. Sandy, you touched on this early on about some of the entertainment in Myrtle Beach. That's got to be a huge draw for you guys. Having experienced that myself, it's just epic. Just the quality of shows rivals anything I've seen anywhere. Can you talk, just a little bit about what the inventory is right now?
Sure. Currently, we do still have the 7 live theaters. All of them right now are open at 50% capacity, doing all the sanitation and cleanliness procedures that are necessary. But the Carolina Opry is the oldest theater in the area, and if I'm not mistaken, it's 33 years old now. For some reason, I'm losing track of time in this COVID age, but they are approximately 33 years old. They did start the theater. It's now called Calvin Gilmore's Carolina Opry. It is a great variety show. So you'll see a lot of Broadway. You'll see some songs that are more geared to the older generation. See some jazz, some country, some gospel. The production is just out of this world.
Okay.
Alabama Theater has been around a very long time as well. Being they are both variety shows, you will find that you're not going to see the same type of entertainment at each of the shows. They're very different. Most of the groups, when they're here, are going to stay probably 3 to 4 nights, if not longer, just depending on where the group's coming from. But they're typically going to see a show every night. In fact, I kind of forgot on the news segment that we have a brand new show coming back to town, which is going to be located at Broadway at the beach, and that is going to be Le Grand Cirque. So that will restart hopefully this summer, as long as our climate continues to get better.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, in regarding Alabama Theater, I was surprised that that's actually Gaylord Entertainment is the producer of the one show there. So obviously people know them from Nashville, and super good quality. What else as far as entertainment activities there would you recommend?
Sure. There is Medieval Times.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure most are familiar with that. There's Pirate's Voyage. Which I think we were definitely the first one. I think another one's been built in another destination at this time. But it is a highly entertaining show. I would recommend that to any age. I've seen it multiple times, and each time I go, I see something I did not see before. It is a meal. So it's your standard kind of Dolly Parton meal with the chicken and soup, wonderful soup that they have. But it's a lot of fun. The holiday show there they do is based on the Scrooge story. But it has a lot to do with Scrooge. It's got some Christianity involved. It's got some toys involved. I mean, it's just a pretty amazing show for the holidays, especially.
Yep. Well, if I'm not mistaken, although this certainly this past year was somewhat of a muted holiday season, a lot of the theaters, if not all the theaters, do some sort of a holiday themed show starting sometime in November.
Right. The shows actually start the first week of November. I actually did go take in 2 of the shows this week, actually, and both of them, like I said, for sanitation. It was just amazing. We had some of our group that was there actually in tears during some of the songs. And then, of course, they're clapping along to some of the other songs. So it was still highly entertaining and still a great holiday Christmas spirit show.
God, awesome. Well, certainly weather-wise, you guys have got it down there over the holidays. The beach, the boardwalk, add in the entertainment. Certainly a special time to be looking. And as we're eyeing recovery in 2021, people are saying third and fourth quarter. We should have a good semblance of a group tour market. That would be certainly something to take a look at. So, Sandy, before I switch back to the live session there, I don't know if you even remember this, but back in 2010, I was walking around ABA with a little video recorder. This was well before iPhones and Samsungs had that all cooked in. And I happened to hook into you at this big double booth at Myrtle Beach. You guys were rolling out the red carpet, and I've still found that thing on YouTube. There's a 1 minute and 52-second video of me asking you questions about Myrtle Beach on there. So kind of interesting, I think, about how we are 10 years later doing the same thing, but obviously different set of products.
Yeah, Dave actually reminded me of that earlier this morning.
Sandy, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate all that you're doing to support the group tour marketplace in Myrtle Beach, and look forward to seeing you again live at a show in the near future.
All right. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, Jeff. Lisa, if you don't mute yourself, I've got a couple questions for you.
Certainly.
All right. One of the questions that came in is, regarding Myrtle Beach and North Myrtle Beach, and they wanted to know, is North Myrtle Beach more geared towards adults than Myrtle Beach?
I would say it is, just because the 2 offerings of different products we have. So Barefoot Landing and Broadway at the Beach are actually owned by the same company, Broadway being located downtown Myrtle and Barefoot being located in North Myrtle. And I think with Broadway at the Beach, you get more of that child-hearted spirit is what I would call it. So if you're looking for those more active, more like Wonderworks, laser tag, arcade style kind of things, you're going to want to go to Broadway. And if you're looking for those that are more geared toward adults, I would definitely say Barefoot, because they've got more products that are geared to that clientele. Plus the new riverboat is located up at Barefoot as well. So you could definitely deduce that North Myrtle is more of an adult, has a more adult product offering than downtown Myrtle.
Okay. Of course, I live in Myrtle Beach, so I know a little about it. And one of the things I've been impressed with is the effort. Sandy touched on what the theaters are doing as far as social distancing, sanitizing regularly. Can you tell us or give us any assurance about what the hotels are doing?
Certainly. So a lot of our hotels have their own cleaning initiatives. And so most of the time they'll actually go in after everyone's stay. They'll electrostatic fog the rooms. Some of them will even seal the doors and let them sequester and for a certain period of time before they will sell that room again. And so every time the new person goes in to check in, there's a seal on the door. And so it shows that it hasn't been opened since they've gotten there and since it's been cleaned. Other things that they're doing are mandatory masks. We do have a destination-wide mask mandate right now in Myrtle Beach and in North Myrtle Beach, and areas around them too. So even in like Georgetown, Pawleys Island, south of Myrtle in the Grand Strand, up to Little River, which is on the north end. And so, yeah, different hotels are doing different things, but most of them are centered around that. How do we slow the spread? How do we flatten the curve? Even new things that you didn't necessarily think of before. Like I had one of our hotel partners. We stayed overnight at with a group with a small site inspection that was in town. And they didn't even do turn down gifts because they were really, nervous about how do we deliver these to our clients without, making sure that they've been sequestered properly first, or they will sequester items before they do turn down gifts delivered with white glove service. So they make sure that nothing comes in contact with those items.
Okay. One other thing, we talked a little bit about some new things that are coming to Myrtle Beach, but there's one in particular that you mentioned to me not too long ago about the bus.
Yeah. So yeah, we do. We have ironically, yes, a bus for motor coach group tours. But it is actually a double-decker bus, and they do different tours around the city of Myrtle Beach. And they'll do pub crawls, they'll do different historical tours, and they'll go, I think, as far as south as Murrells Inlet, and then as north as North Myrtle. So they stay pretty centrally located in the Grand Strand. And one thing that they do have that's kind of unique is that they do have a karaoke on board. So if your groups do like to jump on a bus and have some fun, I definitely think they'd enjoy that.
Okay. One other thing, if you could you please share Sandy and your contact information? We had it on the presentation, but we can't seem to get back to that. So
Certainly. Yeah, of course. I can put that either in the chat. And one thing I did want to include as far as what we're doing as a destination in our COVID-19 slowing the spread efforts is that we did jump on a destination-wide initiative called the Greater Grand Strand Promise. And so there's actually a website that is called greatergrandstrandisopen.com, and I can put that in the chat as well, or I can email that in my follow-up. But it's basically the community with the businesses that have pledged to, wear masks and encourage the wearing of masks to slow the spread of COVID-19, and then also their cleaning initiatives on top of that. And I did want to post this special little resource in our chat as well. This is a compiled resource page of all the resources that you would need when you book a group to the Grand Strand. It's going to tell you everything from local mandates, executive orders, just any special rules that you need to be aware of when booking groups here. We are mostly open. All of our restaurants are open to 100% capacity. We are accepting groups. We are accepting big groups over I think it's the quantity of 250. They have to sign a waiver through the state to book a group in Myrtle Beach, but they are still welcoming them. But let me post this in the chat because it is a really handy resource for you. It's called our COVID-19 Recovery Group Toolkit. And there's all kinds of resources on there that are going to help when booking groups to the Myrtle Beach area. And then
Lisa, does that have the contact information for you? And
It actually links to our main webpage, so you can find our contact information that way, but you can also, I'll go ahead and put Sandy's email and my email in here as well. There's Sandy. And then there is me. So yeah, if you have any other questions that you think of, please let me know. Feel free to reach out. We are very prompt with answering things. And we know that this is a really unprecedented time that we're going through. So we are definitely patient, and we are just happy to be here on Fam Friday with you guys.
Well, we're no additional questions. So I think it's, I'd just like to leave by thanking you and Sandy so very, very much for your time. And, it's like I mentioned earlier, I live here, but there's, I'm constantly learning new things. So I'm glad you both took time to share with us today. So if there aren't any other questions, then, we're a little bit over our 30 minutes. So we'll probably just say goodbye to everyone.
Awesome. Thank you for having us so much. It's been a rough ride, but we are happy to be coming back to it with you guys.
Thank you.